Everyone, welcome to part 5 in creating a road in Civil 3D. Now, it's been quite a few months since the last upload, so please check the previous tutorial just to refresh your memory on where we left it. In this tutorial, we're going to look on how to create a junction in Civil 3D. So without further ado, let's begin. So now I know it's been a while, 9 to 5, Christmas holidays, all been a lot. So yeah, didn't find the time to do that, but now we're hopefully with the new year, we're gonna kickstart. So where did we leave the last tutorial? We created our corridor, we created our surface. We did show that we need to change the regions for the corridor. And the reason we did that was to give some space to introduce the junction assembly in, and we're gonna create a connected alignment. So first things first, we will need an offset, create our offset alignments. And the offset alignments, we're going to use them for two reasons. A, to target, and B, to create the connected alignment. So basically, you can create manually an alignment along the channel line of the curve of the junction, or you can use the offset alignments to create it automatically. Now, for simple shapes, connected alignment works very well. How do we get a connected alignment? Let's clear our drawing tiny bit. So I'm gonna disable the surface style for my existing because I'm not a big fan of road modeling in Civil 3D. I prefer other software to that, but it's very powerful. So when I do work in Civil 3D, I like to have everything simple. So then I'm gonna edit the surface style for the proposed corridor and remove the border because I have too many red lines, and now it's looking much more better. So I have my corridor, I have my lines that I'm roughly knowing what I'm gonna follow, and I have I'm gonna send actually the corridors to the back for now. So offset alignment, we click on our alignment, and in this case we're gonna do row 2, and we're gonna do offset alignment. Now this create offset alignment window will appear, and offset the side we're offsetting, and then from start to finish, and then we can do it even for a portion. I always recommend to do it for a portion. I don't recommend it to do it for the whole road because you might have a whole road and have multiple junctions on it, and it might widen later on. So then you will have to offset again. So I would suggest to always select your start and finish. So my start will be 0. And then my finish will be, let's say, this is here, 9, let's do 12. I'll add some 3 meters on top. Now I want one offset on the left-hand side, one offset on the right-hand side. If you don't want, you just make it a 0. In our case, we do want it. And I believe the road is 6 meters, so I want 3 meters on the left and 3 meters on the right. And then you can have some profiles to create for you. So I'm still have -2.5%, so I'm keeping that. I'm gonna hit OK. But before I hit OK, so you can see which one is the parent profile, vertical profile for row 2, and we can superimpose it on another profile, or we can cross slope from parent profile, so it picks up the slope from the parent profile, and then it can name the alignment for you. So offset, and then these are the Civil 3D parameters. But in our case, you just make sure this is -2.5, and then hit OK. So now you can see these 2 new lines appeared, and they are your offset alignments. Now we're gonna do the same thing for the alignment on road 1. So I'm gonna click on the alignment, offset alignment. I'm gonna pick my start and finish. So I'm gonna start it. I do it always before the tangent point. So if it's 23, let's start from 20 just to be on the safe side. And then on the end, I just check. So it's 41, so let's do 45, just round it up. And then I check my slope and it's fine. Now, you see, I did a little mistake here because I did not adjust the offset alignment width. A quick way to fix it is just drag this one all the way to there. So it's 3 meters, and then I can select this offset alignment and drag it all the way to 3 meters. However, I don't need this offset alignment, so I can actually delete it. So I have an offset alignment here, offset and offset alignment. So I'll isolate them just to show them to everyone. So basically we have these 3 offsetted alignments. Now, the way I like looking at things is how am I driving? So And all it depends on how you're going to create your assembly. So the way I like doing my assembly is how am I driving? So how, if I would want to enter road 2, how can I enter it if I'm on the same side? So if I'm driving on this side, I will turn from there. I'll turn in this way and then continue obviously straight. I don't have to draw the arrow as well. When I'm gonna come and create my connected alignment, I want my 0 to be here of the chainage and here to be whatever the other chainage is. So you can see here we've got chainage 0 and then 50 and then keeps going on 100. So this is the same thing with the connected alignment. It's still an alignment. It's the way you define it will dictate what assembly you want to use or how you want to create it. The rule of thumb the rule that I always suggest to whoever I teach to create a junction is entry junction, exit junction. So when you're entering the junction and when you're exiting the junction. So always start how you enter the junction. So let's just draw this just to remind myself that that's how I'm entering. And let me draw this just to remind that that's how I'm exiting the junction. So with that being said, I'm gonna create now my connected alignment. So I'm gonna select my first offset because I'm going from this road into this road. It's important which one you select first, and then click on connected alignment and it'll ask you to select the second alignment. So I'm gonna select this one and then pick a location for the connected alignment. I'm gonna click somewhere here. So basically on the inside, and you can see created this. Now I am happy with my location, so I'm gonna hit enter. And this window will appear. So you can give it a name. So I like naming it connected alignment. So road 1 into road 2. Obviously you don't have to type the full road, just R1 into R2. And then in the design criteria, parameters, I have a circular fillet. So basically just a simple curve. The curve is 6 meters. So I'm gonna do 6 meters. And then the offset is 0. And then the connection overlap is basically after the tangent, how much more do you want the connected alignment? Well, I like always keeping it as 1. And then I can hit preview to see it. And you can see here, that's my tangent point. That's my 1 meter. That's my 6 meter circular fillet. And that's my another meter. If I increase this one to 2, you can see it increases it. So you can do it too, but I prefer 1. And then depending on circumstances, I choose. Now I have my first connected alignment. So now what we can do is select, because we're exiting, we're gonna select this alignment first because we're driving on this one, and then click on connected alignment and then select the other alignment here, pick a point where the junction will be, hit enter, and then give it the name. So connected alignment road 2 into road 1. I like to be descriptive in my alignments name, so it will be easier later on when I try to fix something or find something. So then I go to parameters. It's a circular fillet and radius is 6. Offset is 0. If I do offset as 1, and let's do this one, you can see it offset is from that point outwards. So from 6 meter offset in. Well, I don't want any offset at the moment, so it's 0. So it will be right there. So basically using these two alignments, if I'm going to do a circular fillet with a 0 offset and a radius of 6, that's where it will appear. Now, on this, I forgot to show you on the other window, there is the connected profile, which is the bit that happens behind the scenes that you don't see. So basically, when it creates a connected alignment, it has to create a vertical profile as well for us. So create a profile for connected alignment, and then connection in profile tells us where, the cross slope, and we can amend all these. Like you can profile curve type, these are like if it's very long, but in our case is not. These are cross slopes. So basically what it does is it looks what's the point there and what's the point there and creates a slope wherever possible for them. So now if I click on the alignment and then go try to create a surface profile for it. So let's have a look if we can create a profile, surface profile. I want to add the existing, actually the corridor surface, so I can see how relative to it I am. And then I'm just going to give it a different color. So do surface 3. Drawing profile view, and yeah, let's keep it exaggerated and just let's put it here. So you can see you've got the first bit of the road and then the other bit, and then it tried to keep it at a crossfall of 6, I believe. So let's see if we can add the band, because the band was missing in. So what band do I need? A vertical. We can add it. First time I'm adding the band, so like it did as 2.5% apparently. So basically connects it. Now the reason you need to know about this is if the junction doesn't end up with the contours that you want, then you will have to go and tweak that vertical profile. But most cases it works. But if you want to go more in depth, then that's how you would do it. Now we have our connected alignment. The next step is to create our assembly. Because we said we're gonna always do junction in and then junction out, so therefore we need to look, if we're gonna drive from this side out, what do we have? So let me just rotate it slightly, just so we can, you know, just visualize it better. Hopefully that was. So we're driving in. So on the left hand side, we need the footpath, and on the right hand side, we need the corridor, the carriageway, because this is now our center point. So basically we're gonna tell the assembly to follow this curve. So on the left hand side of the curve, we have the footpath with the embankment, the daylight, and on the right hand side we have the carriageway. And because we're going in and then we're going out, we can use the same assembly and we do not have to create a different one. So let's go create our assembly. We're gonna go to assembly, create assembly, and we're gonna call it junction in, just so you can be more clear, and then you can put 3 meters, whatever like you want to name it. But as I said, I do follow a specific naming convention. So if you can see here, got right hand side incoming junction. But for this case, I'm just gonna be fairly quick. So junction in. So I'm gonna bring my tool palette. I'm gonna do a simple carriageway. We said on the right hand side we have our carriageway. On the left hand side we have our curb. And let's just click on the curb and then left hand side in the properties panel, and then detail footpath. And let's have a look. What was our footpath? Our footpath was 1.825 because we had also the edging. So let's do 1.825. Add our edging. And did I have a verge? I did have a verge. So let's go to simple verge. Let's do 0.5 meter, so width 0.5 meter, and then let's do a daylight, so the 1 in 3. Cut slope 3. So this is our junction assembly. So we do have our horizontal alignment. We have our vertical profile, which was created automatically. So now all we have to do is click on our corridor, because we're going to add it on the same baseline. And we're going to click on corridors properties. I like to minimize everything. And then I'm going to create add baseline alignment. I'm going to do road 1 into road 2 first. That's the profile automatically created, the vertical profile. And then the assembly is junction in. And then I'm going to hit OK. And then I'm going to hit apply. So you can see what it's going to create. So see, it created this little blobby thing. Now, basically, if I go back to the other CAD drawing, if I minimize the frequency, select it, and hit that. So basically, all it's done is it created this. So this like odd shape you see is this line here. So that's why it's so like fragmented is the word, I think. So to fix that, all we have to do is right click, corridor properties, and then minimize everything. So that is our junction. And then in the frequencies, I'm gonna do 1, 1, 1, and 1. And apply, and you can see I have a nice curve now. So now if I go to the object viewer, You can see I'm pretty there almost, but there is a little issue. This carriageway continues actually further than it's supposed to. You can see it goes all the way to here, and it messes up with my contours. So basically, I want that carriageway to stop right there. So how do I do it? So we select our corridor and we right click, we go to modify region, and we go to edit targets, and see now we have, this is our corridor from the road 1, and this is our junction corridor or region, sorry. Hit enter, and then if you minimize all these, you can see these are all the sub-assemblies that we were using. So simple carriageway, which is what we're interested in. And basically what we want to do is basically tell the software that, hey, you do not need to continue taking this one all the way there, because there is already another region here that does the job for the levels. So we are basically working with width. So in the width section, I want to target the offset of road 1 on the right hand side. So offset right to horizontal alignment road 1. If I had tick and apply, you can see it's the carriageway did stop. It's stopped, like it doesn't extend any further, and the contours are still messy and it continues all the way to there. But I also want it to stop here as well, because I'm gonna create another assembly here, and it will be a new region there. So in the carriageway as well, in the width target, I'm gonna also target the horizontal alignment for row 2. Now you can click it from there, or you can click on this green box and then alignment, hit enter and hit apply, and you can see now that it stopped it. So if I go OK, and I'm just gonna do edit targets just so you can see. So now it's beautiful. So I have my road 1, and then I have my junction, because I don't want to mess with the contours of road 1. They look pretty good. And then I have the road 2, the junction in. Now, in order to fix the levels, the reason they're breaking is because we did not target the right things as of yet. So we targeted the width, but we didn't target the right point. And we need to also make sure that actually our vertical profile ties in well the channel line. So let's go and check if we have done that correctly. Now this one is corridor surface road 2. So let's go and select our corridor. Just want to double check if it's done correctly first. So corridor properties, I want to minimize everything. I want to untick road 2 and the carriageway in the junction, and then hit OK. So now in here I can see only the surface for road 2. Let's see, and then I have the profile for road 2, which is good. I don't know why the corridor was named road 2. So let me click on the alignment for 1 second. And let me check what surfaces I have in there. So I have the corridor surface. Oh, I'm not sure why I named it horizontal alignment road 2. Let me just add that surface as well again, just to double check, because it's been a while. I'm gonna change the color to existing, not existing. Let's do surface 4, just to check. It's the same thing, then we've done it correctly. Yeah. So you can see now that my alignment ties in correctly. So I'm confident that when I'm gonna go to this next step, after I enable back my baselines, basically we're enabling our baselines back. Ooh, takes a few seconds. So now when I'm gonna come to the next step to fix this, I'm gonna go to click on my corridor, right click, that's how I like to access my things, and then go to edit targets again and select, left click, and then enter. Now in the carriageway, I'm gonna target vertically, so basically levels. So the vertical target for this road will be the offset alignment for road 1, and then also it will be the horizontal alignment for road 2. So where is vertical profile road 2, sorry. vertical profile road 2. So if I hit apply, you can see the contours are automatically fixed. Now, you might ask the question, hang on a second, why did you target the offset alignment here, but for road 2, you targeted the vertical profile and not the alignment? Because the offset alignment has also some level information on it, and the vertical profile, the alignment on road 2, does not have any information, so we need the vertical profile of alignment number 2. And if I go to my 3D model right now with the corridor, I think I should have selected corridor, but yeah, you can see we have still some gaps in the corridor model. Is it some gaps? No, I think because I selected the corridor as well. So let's just do the corridor only. So yeah, it looks absolutely fine. Now you have few minor gaps. That's absolutely fine. You can just extend the, what do we call it? The grips. So I'm going to extend the grips from there all the way to there. And now if I go to object viewer, it should have disappeared completely. But usually I leave some gap just so I can know where it starts and ends. So that's a good rule of thumb to do. You can see here that we don't have the daylight because we did forget to amend our targets. So let's go to surface targets and set all to existing surface and apply. And okay. You can see now it's done correctly. Now, I'm not sure if I put two verges, I think. Did I put two verges? I think I tipped two verges. There you go. I did two verges in the assembly. So I'll delete that one, move that one over to there. And now if I go back to my, yeah, there you go. See, it ties in smoothly. And let's bring that one. Actually, I'm going to push this one. Yeah, let's bring that one to, just select that point, yeah. So we can be confident ties in nicely. There we go. Not very much tying in here. Not sure what happened. And we're going to do the same thing now for the next junction. So again, what do? We go select our corridor. We go to corridor properties. We're going to add a baseline. We're going to select our connected alignment road 2 into road 1. Already has automatically vertical profile, but if you recall, because we created a surface profile for it and we added the corridor surface, that's why this appears here, but it's the first one that automatically is created. And then you can have the junction in assembly. And then okay, I will set up my frequencies from here straight away. Then what I'm gonna do is click on targets here so I can set them up here fairly quickly. So targets existing for the surfaces. And for the width, as I said, for the width, we want to stop at the offset alignment of road 1. So right hand side of road 1. And then I want to stop at horizontal alignment road 2. And for the vertical target, I want the vertical profile for road 2 and the offset alignment for road 1. And if I hit OK and apply, and let's see if it's done it correctly. Okay, let's let it build. And it's done. You can see we have this little gap here, and that can become evident when you start doing like edit targets. You can see like, oh, there's a gap here, and you can see it also in the object viewer. So that gap can be fixed two ways. Either you split the region and you say, I want to split it right there. Or the quickest trick that I found is to right click, modify region, edit frequency, and then in the plus icon here, just target that point. So I shift right click to intersection, hopefully we'll find it, and click once and it will pick it up. You can see here 4.25 is added, and you can see 4.25, and then hit enter, and then do the same for this one here. Right click, intersection, and you can see 6.897 added. You can add a little description if you want, and ta-da. So that's how you create your junctions, a simple junction in Civil 3D. The more complex ones will require you to do a manual alignment unless you can master through it connected alignments. Because if you recall, let's try and do a connected alignment again. And I select this one as the second one. That's the point. You also have circular fillet, spiral, curve, spiral, reverse spiral, spiral, curve, spiral, 3 centered arcs. So you've got few options here like standardized ones, but if you have something uncommon, I would say just create an alignment by yourself and then follow the same steps that we followed to create the road. And that is how you create a junction in Civil 3D. So the important bits to remember is junction in, junction out. When you create the connector alignment, the order plays matter that you select the alignments, because that's where your chainer starts and finishes, and that's how your assembly what will follow. So you need to make sure you've set it up correctly. So remember what I've told you, and then you shouldn't have any issues. And then in terms of targets, as I said, let's just recap it one more time. So you can see here that this region, what we've done is, let's screenshot this, and up, and highlight on it. So basically what we've done is we told that this baseline, I wanted to stop here by targeting it. Target. And same with here as well. And we did the target for both the width, in terms of like how far it will go, and for the vertical. So basically, forgot the R. Vertical also. So how up or down it will go. And as I said, the contours do not look bad at all. Like if I now just isolate the contours by itself, it's pretty decent, I would say. So I hope you found this tutorial useful. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see what tutorial next I can do. But hopefully that will get you starting with road modeling. I'll see you in the next tutorial.